Look at you, 25, staring at a ceiling at 2 a.m., waiting for a magical shift in the universe to fix your anxiety. You've swallowed every hustle harder pill on TikTok and read all the generic Stoic quotes about controlling your mind. Yet, your chest still feels like an empty room. The internet lied to you. It told you that if you just optimize your morning routine or build another stream of income, the dread will vanish. It won't. You are not broken because you're failing. You are broken because you are desperately performing for a digital matrix that doesn't care if you live or die. Epictetus once said, "You are enslaved by anything you refuse to let go of." So, pour a drink. Let's talk about why your frantic need to fix your life is the exact thing that's killing your soul. We live in a bizarre cult that worships exhaustion as a status symbol. You've been conditioned to believe that if you aren't monetizing every hobby, tracking your sleep cycles, and crushing some relentless 5 to 9 grind, you are burning your potential. It's a beautifully packaged lie. What they call ambition is usually just an unmedicated trauma response. You aren't chasing a higher purpose. You are running away from the quiet. You need the noise of achievement because the moment the world stops clapping, you're forced to face the stranger in the mirror. Every notification, every milestone, every digital pat on the head you crave is just another brick in a prison of your own making. You've let society define your worth, which means you've given a crowd of blind people the authority to tell you if you're beautiful. It is the ultimate mental bankruptcy, dying of thirst while carrying an ocean of external validation on your back. Why are you so offended by a world that never promised to be fair? You lose a job, a relationship ends, or someone insults you, and you treat it like a cosmic conspiracy designed to ruin your day. It's almost funny how arrogant we are, assuming the universe revolves around our fragile feelings. 2,000 years ago, Marcus Aurelius sat in a muddy military tent, ruling an empire plagued by war and disease, and wrote a simple truth. Nothing that happens outside your mind can actually touch you. The economy isn't depressing. Your thoughts about the economy are depressing. The betrayal didn't break you. Your expectation that human beings would always be loyal broke you. The world outside is entirely neutral. It just exists. It rains on the just and the unjust alike. You are the one coloring it with your tragic interpretations. Seneca pointed out that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. You spend months agonizing over a future failure that might never happen, essentially paying interest on a debt you haven't even borrowed. It is the ultimate joke. You are both the torturer and the prisoner, locked in a cell where the key has been in your hand the entire time. If you want control, stop trying to manipulate the world. Master the only thing you actually own, your perspective. Everything else is just background noise. But let's be honest. You can white-knuckle your way through life with Stoic logic all you want, turning your mind into an unshakable fortress. Yet your chest still feels like a hollow shell. Why? Because logic can build a shield, but it cannot cure a bleeding heart. You've mastered the art of not caring, but you haven't mastered the art of being at peace. This is where the cold, mechanical grimness of the West fails you. and the ancient science of the soul from the East steps in. While modern psychologists tell you that your loneliness is a pathology to be cured with more social apps or distraction, the ancient mystics viewed it as a rare, priceless luxury. Imam Al-Ghazali wrote extensively about Uzlah, the art of deliberate isolation. It wasn't about being a sad, socially awkward outcast. It was a strategic withdrawal to starve the ego. Rumi famously whispered that the wound is the place where the light enters you. That agonizing emptiness you feel when you're alone in your room isn't a curse. It is the destruction of your fake, socially engineered identity. The universe is intentionally stripping away the noise of the crowd so you can finally hear yourself. Stop trying to fill that void with casual hookups or endless scrolling. Let the ego shatter. It is only in total isolation, when you stop performing for the world, that your true, unbothered self is actually born. What if the very things you are running from are exactly what you need? You've been programmed to view life as a battle to be won, a series of obstacles to crush or avoid. You're exhausted because you are constantly swimming against a tidal wave, trying to force the universe to conform to your fragile little ego. The ultimate weapon of inner freedom isn't found in fighting the chaos. It's found in becoming completely untouchable. This happens when you fuse the absolute logic of the West with the profound surrender of the East. The Stoics called it Amor, Fati, not just tolerating your fate, but loving it, wrapping your arms around whatever the universe throws at you. The ancient mystics called it Tawakkal, the radical, terrifying act of letting go, dropping your hands from the steering wheel because you realize you never actually controlled the car anyway. When you marry these two ideas, something lethal happens to your anxieties. You stop viewing life's tragedies as personal insults. If everything that happens to you is exactly what was meant for you, then failure is no longer a crisis. It is simply raw material. You become a ghost in the machine. They cannot humiliate you if you have already dismantled your pride. They cannot make you lonely if you already love the dark. You become entirely indestructible, not because your armor is thick, but because you no longer have an ego left to bruise. So, what are you going to do now? Go back to the screen that's feeding you anxiety, or pretend you didn't just hear the exact truth you've been running from. The choice is entirely yours. I'm not going to ask you to smash a subscribe button, turn on notifications, or leave a generic comment to feed some desperate algorithm. This bar is quiet, and I prefer it that way. If your ego wants to stay asleep, keep scrolling and find a motivator who will lie to you for views. But if your soul actually demands that you return to this corner, you know exactly where to find me. Or don't. The universe will keep spinning either way. Sleep well.